Call this meeting of the Alvin Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present and that this meeting has been duly called and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. And if you would, please stand for the invocation and the pledges from Mr. Johnson.
Please bow your heads. Dear Lord, thank you for allowing us to gather here this evening safely. We ask for your protection and continued guidance for our leadership, our staff, students, and administration of this district. Lord, also tonight, please protect those athletes and other students that are traveling around and competing across the district this evening. We ask that you continue to uplift our students, give our teachers the strength and courage they need to perform their job every day, and protect those that are less fortunate than us this evening. Amen. Amen. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Next, we'll have the superintendent's report.
So board, we've had a lot of things going on and a great start to the beginning of the school year. We kicked off the 22-23 school year with the transition day, of course, for pre-K, kinder, 6th, and 9th graders across the district on August the 17th. And then all of our other students returned on August the 18th. We're just over 29,000 students this year, so we're still growing. It's been a great few weeks for Alvin ISD, and we look forward to an amazing school year. Iowa Colony High School celebrated their first ever new coming on Thursday, September the 1st. The Pioneers celebrated their first ever new coming, and the football team played Kip Sunnyside and came away with the win that evening. And Dr. Marquez and her team did a great job hosting that evening. Of course, Alvin ISD stood with Uvalde as they started school on September the 6th. Several of our staff and students dressed in maroon, which was a symbol of unity for Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District as they returned for the first day since their tragic event occurred last May. Behind the scenes in Manville High School and Shadow Creek High School, we were chosen this year to be the Bally's Sports Friday night game, and what an exciting game it was. We had to root for both teams. Both of them were our hometown teams, so it was between Manville High School and Shadow Creek. It was their game of the year, and we have a little video to show you what it takes to pull off a production for this showcase. Our staff worked all week long with the Valley staff, and they were a great staff, and we're very complimentary of both teams and our communication staff. So if you want to show the little video real quick. If it'll play. Nope. Technology's great when it works. If not, they can pull it up on YouTube. I don't know if this is the same video, though. No? Okay. So we'll go on and talk about our Alvin ISD elementary musicals in 2022. This year we have 3 elementary musicals across the district. So dates and times are on there. They're on our website. So make sure that you're able to catch them. We have A Year with Frog and Toad, Aladdin for kids, and Pirates Past Noon Kid, the Magic Treehouse collection. So across the district, there's plenty of opportunities, and if you've not ever attended an elementary musical, it's a great show of our talent at a very young age for our students, and great productions. Our Fine Arts Department and our music teachers across the district and elementary do a wonderful job with our students. And then finally, our Iowa Colony Pioneers will have their dedication ceremony of their campus on Tuesday, September the 27th at 5:30 p.m. And all of you are invited to come out, the community, and we're looking forward to a great dedication that day.
Next, we'll have student and faculty commendations.
Okay, hello, welcome everyone. We're super excited that you're here today. Board, we are going to recognize a student today. But before we do that, I do want to tell you, we were recognizing the junior ROTC. We are postponing that until the next board meeting, and due to their open house tonight. And we also were going to recognize another staff member that I'll tell you about in just a minute. But before we do that, the most important here we're super excited about is Caden. Caden, would you please come up? Caden Shelton. Congratulations to McNair Junior High 7th grader Caden Shelton for being part of the Pearland Little League team that made the Little League World Series in Williamsport. They were eliminated in the U.S. semifinal round. The team finished the Little League World Series 3-2, just one win shy of the trip to the U.S. final. That is incredible when you think of all the teams that you beat out. So congratulations. We are so excited for you, and we are very glad that you can call Alvin ISD your home. So great job.
So Caden, we know you were a little busy, but we were all wearing orange and we were rooting for you and watching you on television. We're like, "Wait, he's ours, he's ours." So I know your family was very proud, and what a great accomplishment. So congratulations.
Good deal.
And very well spoken, might I add, in all the interviews that I saw you in.
Yes.
So great job. And
Wait,
then,
how fast is the pitch? Have they clocked you? How fast do you?
76.
Wow.
wow,
That's
that's
amazing.
pretty impressive.
Yep.
Good job. And then our staff commendation, we just got word that she wasn't going to be able to make it tonight. So that was Ava Cantu, and we will recognize her during another board meeting. So
Okay,
she couldn't make it.
perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rives. Yes. Tonight, Alvin High School's hosting their open house.
All right, at this time, we are now at the open forum portion of the agenda. If you'd like to address the board, you should have completed the public participation form and submitted it to the superintendent secretary prior to the meeting according to policy BED local. After I call your name, please come to the podium and state your name and address and the purpose for addressing the board. Please understand that you will have 3 minutes to speak. Yet if 10 or more speakers have signed up to speak, the board president shall have the discretion to reduce the time limit to no less than 1 minute based on time constraints on the conduct of the board business. I respectfully ask that you make no derogatory statements about any board member, student, or employee of the school district. I ask that you also understand that the board cannot take action on your request or comment at this time. However, the president or designee may refer the request to the superintendent for review. And we have Tariq Hamid.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tariq Hamid, and I spoke to you guys a couple of weeks ago at the last board meeting, and it's good to hear how the school year started off great for Alvin ISD. Unfortunately, for my family, it did not start off great. All the things that you mentioned about going to Iowa Colony, having a football game, my child plays for the band, so I had one child have to go to play in the band. The other child I have goes to Manville High School, could not attend the game. One of my sons told me, he says, "Hey, you know, Dad, there's nothing that I love more than being in the band. I love being in the band. The band is what causes me to come to school every day." My other child says, "You know what? I know I can't participate in anything because I know you guys can't come get me. My wife works at night. She works as a trauma nurse. And so I'm facing my family with all the great things that Alvin ISD has going for itself. We cannot participate in it. The job of educators, as you all know, is to get children engaged. We've done a wonderful job with Saeed over at Iowa Colony. He is engaged. He says, "I want to go to school." My other child who receives special education services, he says to me, he says, "You know what? I'm going to make a sacrifice for the family. I'm not going to participate in anything. And I said to myself, how sad is that we have a policy in this district where we have set up a situation in a household where one child has to sacrifice themselves for the other child. I think that as educators, we can do better than that. We must do better than that. I know last time I came here looking for compassion, I came here looking for understanding, and evidently I didn't get that. So today I'm looking for someone to please explain to me how it is in the best interest of my family and children in general to have them at separate high schools. I have a friend that works at TEA, and I said, hey, help me understand this. I explained the situation. He said, wait a minute. You are the parent of two children. They live in the same household, have the same mother and father, and they go to different high schools? I said, yes. Anyone I say that to, their mind is blown. I just want someone on the board to please be able to explain to me how this is best for children, how it's best for my family. Someone help me understand that. That's all I'm looking for tonight. And I know, when I finished the meeting last time, I had people come out and I call them handlers. Don't worry, Mr. Hammond, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to work out. No, that's not true. That's not going to work out. Fortunately, I'm just one person out of hundreds that this decision has impacted. So as board members, keep in mind that your job is to make sure that we do what's best for families. We do what's best for our community. And thus far, this decision has not done that. Thank you for your time.
Next, we'll have a presentation.
So board, this evening, we have Ms. Lisa Burns, and she's the Director of Professional Learning. She will provide us with a presentation about our district's implementation of capturing kids' hearts, and we've been doing this for many, many years in the district. I know at least back to 2012, I know it, thank you.
Even
before that.
Even before that?
2008,
I think I was trained in 2005.
5, okay.
So-
I know it's been quite some time. This equips our educators to implement transformational processes focused on social emotional well-being, relationship-driven campus culture, and student connectedness. So, Ms. Burns.
All right. Well, good evening. I'm going to talk about capturing kids' hearts, like Superintendent Nelson said. And I think I was trained in 2005. And I know that capturing kids' hearts started in the 90s. So we may have people that have gone before that, but I couldn't find records on that. So I'm going to see if I can do this right. Let me just go through real quick, and we're going to talk about what capturing kids' hearts is. And it's a relationship approach to discipline that creates self-managing classrooms. And if you've ever been a teacher, you want a self-managing classroom, because if we can have self-managing classrooms, then we can have more time to teach our content. So capturing kids' hearts focuses on cultivating relational capacity, improving school culture. It strengthens trust between teachers and students. It builds self-managing teams. It creates accountability. It improves academic performance because we have self-managing teams. And it fosters trauma-informed care. And what we have found is that our children feel safe in the classroom, and so they're able to talk to their teachers and others about some trauma that they are having, and so it opens that up. So like Superintendent Nelson was saying, we have had this in our district for a long time, and we usually do about 3 capturing kids' hearts a year. We can have up to 50 people. And I will tell you, we have 50 people in every one of them, and we have waiting lists. Our principals, and we're going to have some principals talk in a minute, they do anything they can do to get as many teachers as they can in these. We also had all of our police department has been trained, and every time we get a new police officer, we put them in the training. Which says a lot about our district and how our police officers treat our kids and where their hearts are. So we have a lot of different parts of capturing kids' hearts. It's the flipping group puts it on, and so there's capturing kids' hearts, and I'm going to talk mostly about that tonight. We also have capturing kids' hearts too, And that does a lot of self-reflecting on teachers. We have a Capturing Kids' Hearts Recharge. If most of your campus is trained in capturing kids' hearts, we get a consultant to come in and just talk to that campus about getting them re-energized and ready for the year. We have Capturing Kids' Hearts Premium, and that's a subscription. That just came on last year. We had 12 campuses last year that subscribed. We have 12 this year that subscribed. They have 24/7 access to our consultant. They have monthly virtual meetings with our consultant, and they get so many things for parents and the community and different ideas that they can bring into their school. We also have process champions, and that's when you have a campus that has a lot of their teachers that are trained, and that kind of makes a Capturing Kids' Hearts group at their school, so they can be a Capturing Kids' Hearts campus. Winning Cultures. Winning Cultures we put on, and that's usually for our paras, and we can have as many in those trainings as we want. And it just talks about positivity around the school. Maybe it's in the office, maybe it's in the cafeteria, maybe it's just some of our out at recess, all about that. So we also do that, and some of our leaders have gone to a leadership blueprint, which is all about talking about your strengths and your weaknesses. What I have found in all of our record keeping, that we have had about 800 people trained since 2016, and I think since we've been doing it, we've had about 1,400 people trained in our district. So let's talk about capturing kids' hearts. When our teachers go to training, they teach them the Excel model. And Excel stands for Engage, Explore. I know Explore doesn't start with an X, but it just goes in there. Explore, Communicate, Empower, and Launch. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about each one of those. So Engage is when we greet our students at the door. Maybe look like a handshake. We make sure that we make eye contact with them. We do a sincere welcome to them. It's not one where they just come in and go, okay, yeah, sit down. Okay, come in, sit down. It's a sincere welcome. It also shows the students how to shake someone's hand. We have a lot of kids that don't know how to shake someone's hand, don't know how to look them in the eye. Then they do Explore. The next part is Explore, and they listen and attend to the personal, emotional, and academic needs of students. We see this in journaling. We also see it in our good things. And if you've been in any of our classrooms to hear good things, that's about 3 to 5 minutes at the beginning of class, and the kids just talk about good things that are happening in their life. Sometimes they don't have people to talk to at home about good things that are happening to them, and so they bring it up in class, and that makes that family feeling. Next is communication, and that's where the teacher is going to do their content. Just communicate what needs to be learned that day. The next is empowering students, and this is what we talked about, having those self-managing classrooms. Empowerment, the students are going to gain the ability to use and do the things that they've been taught, not just academically, socially, emotionally. Excuse me. That looks like leadership roles. It looks like kids affirming each other and what they do. It is going to look like the social contract, and we're going to talk about the social contract in a minute. And it's also going to be where they rate their classroom and how their classroom is doing. The last part is the launch. And if you're a parent, if you're a grandparent, you may do this to your own kids and grandkids. When they leave, you send them out the door with something. And so it's how we end and send our students into the world. When they come in our classroom, we want to shake their hand, give them a positive entrance. When they leave, we want to give them a positive send-off to the world. Here's what that may look like. It may look like a summary of the day. It may look like a commitment to action, such as, before you come back into this class tomorrow, I want you to make sure that you affirm 2 or 3 people. Something simple like that. Might be a meaningful story, a mantra, a quote. I know we've probably all heard, it's a great day. Make it a great day or not, the choice is yours. You may have heard, you can pick, is it going to be a great day or a good day or a great day? Those kind of things. So, greeting at the door, that's our engage. So, sometimes it looks like a handshake. Sometimes it looks like a fist bump. Sometimes it looks like a fist bump and a smile. Notice eye contact. These are our students. Firm handshake, look me in the eye. Sometimes it looks like a pat on the back, and sometimes you just need a hug. So no matter what it is, those teachers are giving positive affirmations to their kids when they walk in. They also, I always thought it was a thermometer. When I have a kid come in, I'm shaking their hand, I can tell you, is it going to be a great day in there for them, or is it going to be kind of a, one that I need to give a little more attention to? Another thing that you will probably see if you go to our campuses that are doing Capturing Kids' Hearts is our social contract. And I have a copy over here. This is our DLT Social Contract. Superintendent Nelson has asked us to do one, and so we do one for DLT. All it is an agreement of behavior, a promise that we're going to make to each other. And there are 4 questions that we ask our kids, or we ask our group. How do you want to be treated by the teacher or the leader? How do you want to be treated by each other? How do you think that the teacher or the leader wants to be treated by you? And how do we want to treat each other when there's conflict? The first 3 are easy for kids. That 4th one is hard for kids because you don't want to think about how I want to be treated with conflict, but it's something to have if you're going to have that self-managing classroom. So we usually do these contracts between the 2nd and 3rd week of school because you have to get to know who's in your classroom. We also need to ask about clarifying questions because one that comes up all the time is respect. Well, if you think about a 3rd grader, they know the word respect, but they may not know what it looks like. And so it's a great way to talk about what does respect look like? What does it mean? How are we going to do that in the classroom? There's also 3 things on there that have to be listed in the social contract. They're non-negotiable. One of them is effort. It may not say the word effort, but it means that you're going to put effort into what you do in the classroom. Another is listening, and another is no put-downs. And so I'm going to show you some of the social contracts that we have around the district. And the first group is secondary. You can see first period, second period, third period. You can see some of them are very neat, some of them are not. The kids, this is ownership for the kids. You'll also see that their names are on it because they need to sign it. That way they are making the promise that this is how they're going to behave and this is how they're going to act and this is how they're going to treat each other. The one at the bottom right, those hearts, that's where all the kids have signed. And then the one at the bottom middle, that is our Jackie Caffey Cardinal, and that is the teacher's social contract to each other. Here's our elementary. Notice they're a little different. Some of the words are different, some of the words are the same. Some of our babies can't write their name yet, so over there by Marianne's head, there's a bunch of handprints, and the teacher has written their name. Up in the top left, they've drawn pictures of themselves and put them up there. So when you go to the schools, they're all different. Here's another elementary. One thing about these social contracts is that you refer to them often and that they're live. If there's something that a student says, well, I think we need to add this, then they're a live they're a live social contract, and so you can put that up there if everybody agrees to it. You notice some of them, it will say what it looks like. The one in the middle, what does it look like? So, because some of our kids don't know what these things look like. Sometimes you will find out that if you go into these classes, you'll see some hand signals. Teacher may be doing this. That just means timeout. Everybody get their attention back. You may see something, sometimes it's like this, and sometimes it's like this. It's check your heart. That means that you might want to see you're not doing one of these things. Check your heart, see if it's in the right place. There also is one called a foul, and that means if you are not doing what you're supposed to, if you put somebody down, and then you can call a foul, and they owe you 2 put-ups. So we have some campuses that are doing phenomenal with capturing kids' hearts. And we're going to talk to some of those principals in just a minute. But sometimes some of these things don't always go as planned. And so one great thing about the discipline model on capturing kids' hearts is there are standard questions. And those questions are, what are you doing? What should you be doing? Are you doing it? And what are you going to do about it? So if a student is not doing what they're supposed to, here's the 4 questions. They're standard. A teacher doesn't deviate from them. So if they're in Miss So-and-so's class, it's going to be the same questions as in Mr. So-and-so's class. So it's very, very consistent. Also, when they go, if they have to go and speak to an administrator, most of the time what the administrator is going to say is, okay, what were you doing? What should you be doing? Are you doing it? What are you going to do about it? So very consistent what the kids get. Sometimes there is a question 5 that says, what's going to happen if you break one of these rules? And there's consequences for that. But very consistent, every classroom that does capturing kids' hearts. Here's a 4 questions. And like I said, we have some campuses that are rocking this capturing kids' hearts. And they have become national showcase schools. And so 2016 is when they started the national showcase. And it'll show you which of our schools have, from year to year, become national showcase schools. And it says right there, they're chosen annually through a rigorous selection process that includes measuring key performance indicators, gathering campus data, and surveying staff, students, and parents. These results represent the implementation of capturing kids' hearts processes as well as the culture and climate on the campus. And it is not something that we pick. It is not a district thing. It's a national showcase. They send people down, and they interview parents, they interview students, and they interview the staff on these campuses. And we have 2 of our national showcase principals with us today, Ms. Victoria Kwan and Dr. Crystal Hawks. And they're going to give you some testimonial about what it looks like, what it feels like on their campus.
Thank you.
Oh, I guess you want to do that.
Good evening. I'm Victoria Kwan. I'm at Pomona Elementary, and we do live and breathe capturing kids' hearts on our campus. Our staff has started the year off with a social contract for everyone to how we're going to treat each other. And then our students, when they started school, we also had every classroom build social contracts as well. One of the things that we pride ourselves in is definitely the greeting, the Excel model, the greeting at the door. Most of our teachers actually give the kids an option of how they want to be greeted, a high five, a fist bump, a handshake, or a hug. And it's really fun to watch them in the morning because they'll get to pick what they want for the day depending on how they feel. So it's a great way to also take their temperature as well, because when they just want a handshake, we want to know why, especially if they're typically a hugger in the morning. We strive to get to know every student by name, so we try to greet everybody as they get off the bus, as they get out of their cars, as they walk up to school. We greet them by name. And so it's funny because I actually do both car rider sides on pre-K, kinder and first grade, and 3rd through 5th. And so it's funny to watch the kindergarten parents say, uh-oh, what did my child do that you know their name already? But it's not that. It's because we really want to get to know the kids and know what they like, who they are, and how they, how they are at school. Our teachers start the day, all of our classes start the day with good things. They do a little community circle and the students share good things. So it's another great way to see what kids are doing, to get to know the kids and their families, and to build that relationship. And then we are also a Capturing Kids' Hearts Premium Campus, so we subscribe to the premium package, which we're offered a lot of resources for our classes to use. We have about 8 process champions at Pomona Elementary. Our process champions have been Capturing Kids' Hearts trained and then have gone through a process champions training. And what they do as a team is they look at these themes that we go through the premium package, and they see how they can share that information across the campus so that we're speaking the same language for the entire month on that theme. So we do that, and then you'll hear all of our teachers at the end of the day definitely launch their students, usually with the mantra if they're not reviewing and summarizing the day. But you'll always hear them scream at the kids as they're walking out, "We love you, make great choices, we'll see you tomorrow, bright and early." And you'll hear them say that to the kids as they are leaving school. So all day long, we follow the Excel model. We find that the kids feel safe at school. They feel like they're a part of the school. They feel like their teachers know them. They feel like the front office team knows them. Everybody knows them. So it's a really a positive process that we follow, and our parents love it as well because they realize that we really connect with their kids as well as connecting with the parents. So we enjoy following the model of Capturing Kids' Hearts. Our kids do too. If you ever walk into a classroom, it's fun to walk into a second grade classroom because they all fight to come tell you about their social contract because you can't sit in the room unless you agree to the social contract. So you'll see all visitors sign it, and they say if you can't follow it, then you cannot be in our room because this is what we do. And they will check you because you're not willing to sign your contract, follow it and sign the contract. So it's a lot of fun, but the kids do really follow that, and it really shows a positive culture and environment in the classroom when they follow that. It really empowers the students to treat each other fairly and respectfully. So that's what we do at Pomona.
Hello, I'm Dr. Crystal Hawks, principal of Jackie Caffey Junior High. And Capturing Kids' Hearts is a relationship-driven, it's a model for relationship-driven culture on a campus. And coming from Shirley Brothers Elementary School, where we were a showcase campus, transitioning into Jackie Caffey Junior High, one of the things I wanted to do was immediately implement some pieces of Capturing Kids' Hearts on our campus. And so thinking of what would those things be without everyone on the campus being trained or going through the process of being a showcase campus, I thought immediately meeting and greeting students at the door. That's one thing that everyone could do right away. So that became our plan for Meet the Teacher Night. And on Meet the Teacher Night, teachers had their rolling PowerPoints going in the classroom, and they met and they greeted every student and every parent as they entered the classroom. That became the awesome plan. Everybody felt good about it. They made eye contact. They shook hands with students. And Meet the Teacher Night was over. I went home, driving home for the night. I get 3 notifications on Let's Talk. So I thought, oh gosh, that didn't go well. Because most oftentimes when you receive a Let's Chat, it's usually a parent or community member voicing a concern or a question. So I waited until I got home. I pulled out my phone and I read them, and they were positive feedback. It was positive feedback from parents about how warm and welcoming they felt on the campus and how much they enjoyed meeting their teacher, how they felt like their children really belonged there. And one of them, the topic was, "This school is so nice. I love it here." And I was like, well, that's a great one. So it just goes to show you how something so small and so simple, yet so intentional, can truly impact the culture of a campus. And that's our experience with Capturing Kids' Hearts. We enjoy it, we love it, and we hope you do too.
So that's just 2 of the many principles that have incorporated Capturing Kids' Hearts. Now, if you want to come and see what that looks like, board, we have a training. If y'all want to it's 2 days. You don't want to come for the whole 2 days probably. But if you want to step in and just see what it looks like, we have October 20th through 21st, we're going to have a training. We have one in February. And we also have process champion training that's going to happen in November, and I can get you all those dates if y'all want to jump by and just spend a few minutes to see what the process looks like on the training. But thank you for your support in it. I know that our teachers love it, our kids love it, our parents love it, and we appreciate the support.
Thank you, Ms. Burns, and thank you, Dr. Hawks and Ms. Kwan. Great. And I know there's several other principals here that implement it on their campuses. Great presentation. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. All right. Next, we'll go into the consent agenda items, A through I. Does anybody want to pull those and do it separately? All right, do we have a motion to approve consent agenda items A through I?
So moved.
By trustee Selsky, do we have a second? Second. By trustee Johnson. Questions? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. All right, next we have request to consider approval of 2022 Alvin ISD tax rate.
So Board, this evening is included a resolution for your consideration to adopt our 22-23 Alvin ISD tax rate. The component breakdown of the proposed tax rate is as follows. The maintenance and operations rate is 0.9429. The interest in sinking, or what we refer to as INS, is 0.4348 for a total tax rate of $1.3777. The recommended total tax rate is for both maintenance and operations as well as interest and sinking. It is a 2-cent reduction from the rate maintained by Alvin ISD for the prior 3 years. The proposed motion is defined by language established in the Texas Property Tax Code Section 26.05B. However, this required language often causes confusion as the statement does not account for the offsetting reduction in state funding that occurs based on the current school finance system.
All right, do we have a motion that the property tax rate be increased by the I'm gonna start it over. Do we have a motion that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 1.3777, which is effectively a 10.73% increase in the tax rate?
So moved.
By trustee Harris, we have a second. By trustee Scheibel. Any questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Next, we have request to consider approval of federal self-certification resolution for 2022-2023.
So Board, this resolution will provide for alignment of the federal procurement thresholds with the Texas Education Code 44.031, which requires competitive procurement for aggregate purchases at $50,000 or more.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the attached self-certification resolution as presented?
So moved.
By trustee Peterson, second. By trustee Johnson. Any questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Next, we have request to consider approval of the amendment to application for a pays value limitation agreement between Maxter Healthcare, Inc. and Alvin ISD.
So Board, on December the 14th of 2021, Alvin ISD entered into an agreement for the appraised value limitation with Maxter Healthcare, Inc. Following the Board's approval of Maxter's application for appraised value limitation under Chapter 313 of the Texas Tax Code, Maxter is seeking additional time to complete its construction project and commence operations, which will delay the start of the 10-year limitation period by 1 year. Rather than beginning on January 1st, 2023, Maxter is seeking to begin the 10-year limitation period on January 1st, 2024. And at your place, you have a copy of the schedule, which hasn't changed. The only thing on it that has changed is the start date. None of the amounts that were negotiated were changed.
All right, do we have a motion to approve, accept amendment to the application for limitation on appraised value of property for school district maintenance and operation taxes pursuant to Chapter 313 of the Texas Tax Code with Maxter Healthcare, Inc.?
So moved.
Who do we have?
Sure.
By trustee Harris, have a second by trustee Scott. Any questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Next, we have request to consider approval of the guaranteed maximum price for Alvin Elementary replacement campus.
Is it Alvin or Bennett? I'm sorry. Oh, it's Alvin. I'm sorry. I skipped over. So on August the 17th, 2022, representatives from Alvin ISD Building Programs Department, PBK Architects, and Gamma Construction received competitive proposals from subcontractors and vendors for this project. After review and evaluation of those proposals, Gamma Construction has submitted a guaranteed maximum price of $30,628,000 for review and acceptance by the Alvin ISD staff and the Board of Trustees.
Do we have a motion to approve a guaranteed maximum price of $30,628,000 for the construction of the Alvin Elementary Replacement Campus Project and authorize the superintendent or her designee to review and execute the final negotiated amendment to the construction manager at-risk contract with Gamma Construction?
So moved.
By trustee Selsky, do we have a second?
Second.
By trustee Peterson. Any questions or comments?
Question.
She has a question.
So I have a question. So I know we talked about this last week, but just so I'm clear, with inflation and all, we're still under budget for this project, correct?
We're within our budget.
Within, sorry, within.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
thank you.
And this was one of the projects on the 2018 bond. And so, yes, we're within our budget on this one.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Next, we have request to consider approval of awarding a contract for construction of Barbara Bennett Elementary number 22.
So Board, on August the 23rd, 2022, competitive sealed proposals from two general contractors were received by Alvin ISD's Building Programs Department and Stantec Architects. The construction of Barbara Bennett Elementary number 22. The contractors' proposals have been ranked using evaluation criteria as prescribed in the project specifications, consistent with the approved CSP process. Of the contractors who met the evaluation criteria, Gamma Construction proposed fees offers the best value to the district for this project in the total of $29,126,100.
Do we have a motion to consider and approve a contract awarded to Gamma Construction for the not-to-exceed sum of $29,126,100 and delegate authority to the superintendent or her designee to negotiate and execute a contract for construction?
So,
By trustee Scott, do we have a second?
Down here.
I'll second.
By trustee Scheibel. Any questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Next, we have request to consider approval of sale and conveyance of surplus property on East Highway 6.
So Board, we're asking for consideration for the sale of approximately 4.1 acres of real property located between Old Galveston Road and Highway 6 in the city of Alvin. This property, account number 7795-0043-000, is 4.1 acres of land. The legal description of the property is Stevens, Block 1, 148-15A1. The physical address is East Highway 6 in Alvin.
Do we have a motion to approve the sale and authorize the board president to execute a deed to the purchasing reciting the board resolution authorizing the sale?
So moved.
Trustee Selsky, do we have a second?
Second.
By trustee Harris. Any questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Next, we have request to consider approval of professional development plan for 2022-2023.
So Board Senate Bill 1267 requires school boards to annually approve the district's professional development plan. Attached, you will find training that takes place in Alvin ISD across all departments. These trainings, again, are attached to the plan.
Do we have a motion to approve the 2022-2023 professional development plan as presented?
So
By
moved.
trustee Peterson. Do we have a second? By trustee Johnson. Any questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Next, we have request to consider approval of employment of personnel.
So Board attached, you will find a list of requested personnel to receive a contract, a Chapter 21 contract this year. And these are, again, openings that we have or employees who've passed their certifications.
All right, do we have a motion for approval to be granted for requested personnel items as presented? By trustee Johnson, do we have a second? By trustee Scheibel. Any questions or comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. This board will now adjourn to executive session pursuant to the following codes of the Texas Open Meetings Act: 551072, 551074, and 551087. this time I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second? Trustee Harris, all in favor? Raise your hand. All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. We are adjourned.
Good night, all right.
Thank you, Officer Hill.
Yes, thank you for staying.
Hey, so that was your son that was the punter, kicker?